So AEW Full Gear came and went last night. A lot of the uh, people, pretty much right now, some of them, well, a podcaster actually said that he couldn't enjoy it. I don't get that part, how you couldn't enjoy a pay-per-view that I thought it was pretty good. I mean, I'll rank it and I'll let you guys know what I think about and whatnot. We're going to be talking about everything, all the matches, everything that happened at AEW Full Gear. We're going to be talking about that and much more on the Chokeslam Wrestling Report, episode 220. Let's get this. Welcome to another episode of the Chokeslam Wrestling Report. I am your host, the infamous Ultimate One and whatnot. And we're going to be talking about AEW Full Gear. We are live on YouTube, on the YouTube channel. Guys, if you have not gone through any of my episodes on my channel, check out all the content on the channel and whatnot, and let me know what you think about all the content that I have made. So let's start this off. So the 0 Hour. I didn't get to see the Deonna Perrazo against Anna Jay. Now, that's one of the lows that I felt already. That wasn't a good way to start a show when you have Anna Jay beating Deonna Perrazo in a match. Deonna Perrazo, since she came there, I believe was in January, has not done pretty much anything, if you think about it. I mean, they gave her the title shot with Toni Storm. And then after that, you haven't heard from her at all. Like, she's in the back. The same thing that happens to all these wrestlers. They come into AEW and whatnot, and they come in, they're like the flavor of the month, and then next thing you know, you don't hear from them at all and whatnot. And Deonna Perrazo has been one of those. They got her hanging out with Taya Valkyrie and whatnot. These two women used to be a rivalry back in the days in TNA. Now they're doing some type of faction. I don't know what they're doing, whatever the case may be. But that was one of the lows that I felt in the show when you got Deonna Perrazo losing to Anna Jay. Now, I got nothing against Anna Jay. Before anybody starts talking about, hey, you making Anna Jay like she's whack or she's no good. Anna Jay has been doing her stuff, especially when she competed in Stardom. She's been in these matches with Mariah May and whatnot. And, pretty much she has done her stuff and she has been doing her work. She is one of the AEW originals. But Deonna Perrazo, a woman who's been, she's been the women's Triple A's, La Reina de Reina championship in Mexico, where she had the Ring of Honor title at one point. She had the TNA Woman Knockout Championship at one point. She's done it all. But for the AEW to pretty much, go out of their way and just not make her like losing to Anna Jay, I don't know where they're going with this, but I hope there's some type of rivalry. There's some type of thing that's going to work out for both females and whatnot. The Anna Jays and all that. Then they had, and this was in the 0 Hour. The next match in the 0 Hour was a four-way with Dante Martin, Buddy Matthews, who was in that? A Commander. Then they had Beast Mortis. Now, this was a good match. It was, to me, I thought that's what, like I said, I didn't get to see the Deonna Perrazo match because I thought that the 0 Hour started at 7. Instead, it started at 6:30. But with that being said, Dante Martin, Commander, Buddy Matthews, and Beast Morris was a pretty decent match. It wasn't bad at all. And Buddy Matthews should be pushed to the moon, being that it looks like they're trying to push the the Black House of Black, which is Brody King and Malachi Black as a tag team. Buddy Madden should be put somewhere where he can get a title shot at the international belt and whatnot. And that's another guy that I believe AEW is not using and it's not utilizing them. Yes, there was 6-man tag team champions. Yes, he had some great matches. I just don't get why you don't give this man a shot of winning a title or something. So, the 4-way was pretty good. Beast Mortis, I like what he's doing. I just don't like his character, all that grounding and all that stuff. He doesn't talk. I guess because he doesn't know English. But being part of the Facción Gobernables is something, pretty much to think about. So that was pretty good. I like the way they started. But as soon as I put that in my notes and said, oh, this is a good match, then we have this match. And a way I was like, why we have this garbage? But that's what I call it a minute. So why we have this garbage match between QT Marshall and AJ Boom or Boom AJ, whatever, the Costco guys. And I was like, why are we doing this? Why? Now, I read some of the comments online. People were like, oh, well, it's the Costco guy. They are over. And, other people say, well, the catch is trying to catch casual fans, attention. And I can't get mad at AEW for trying to go that route. I mean, these guys are very popular. I mean, girls are going to say boom, chocolate chip cookies, whatever they're doing. I don't know. I don't know what was the big trend about them, but I guess the casual fan who know who these guys are were all into this match. And Prudential Center was the pop that they got because of this match. They got this little kid, rubbing his chin and whatnot. And then the funny part is that, and I don't mean to make fun of kids, but even the commentators made a joke on the poor kid and whatnot. And but anyway, this match got a lot of pop. I don't know why, but it got a lot of pop. I guess Boom AJ used to be a wrestler in the New Jersey scene back in the days. He looked like he was winded at one point. I was like, okay, what are we doing? But it got a lot of pop and whatnot. And once I saw it, I said, oh, please God, don't let this a start of a bad how can I say it? A bad mojo and whatnot with the pay-per-view, because now we're seeing a Costco guy wrestling in a ring. And I'm like, what the? I was like, whatever. So, but I guess it was entertaining for those who like that. I don't like that, to be honest. I mean, I think that don't belong in wrestling. But if you're trying to catch the casual fan, you should have done that a couple of years ago. That's the way I'm looking at it. You know what I'm saying? AEW has their problems, has their lot of their nonsense and all that. So they should have done that a long time ago. But because they were catering to the hardcore professional wrestling fan and whatnot. And now the hardcore professional wrestling fans are turning away from them because of the stuff that's been happening in the last 5 years, or actually the last 3 years. So, but the pay-per-view started and we had this 4-way for the AEW tag team titles. We had the House of Black, Brody King and Malachi Black versus Private Party, the world champions, versus the Outrunners versus the Acclaim. During this match, again, I was helping someone in the house. I didn't get to see much of the match, but the bits and clips that I caught on the pay-per-view and whatnot, it looks like pretty much the match was pretty much actually promoting the Acclaim breakup, because you could see Max Caster. He came in to the match doing his rap and threw the microphone at his tag team partner. You know what I'm saying? At Bowen. Bowen looked at him like, what are you doing? And a lot of stuff that he was doing now, you could tell that he's leading to the him turning heel. Now, who is he going to join? I have a feeling he's going to join the Hurt Syndicate and whatnot. He's going to be the 4th member. He's going to be the Cedric Alexander of the Hurt Business, you know? So, I mean, does it fit in there? I mean, you can still put Leo Rush in there as part of the syndicate and whatnot. Private Party pretty much didn't do much in this match, but they retained the belts. So now, I don't know, the Outrunners who've been hot, a lot of people love these guys. They got this 1980s look and whatnot. This match was, I only saw a few of it. It was decent, but I had a feeling Private Party was going to retain because I don't see, if they're going to give the belts to House of Black, okay, then, you know what I'm saying, you have to do something. And the House of Black, I mean, they've been underutilized. That's the way I look at it. This group should have been like this, you know, like what Moxley's group is doing now. That should have been them. You know what I'm saying? But we'll see. And it looks like the House of Black is going to be a group to contend with. And now you got Julia Hart coming back. And when it looks like she's going to be feuding with, I forgot her name, Jamie Hayter. So we'll see about that when it happens. The next match after this was the Roderick Strong versus MJF. Now, this is very interesting because the whole concept was for Adam Cole and Roderick Strong to win 3 matches. And as it turned out, you know, Adam Cole lost to Takeshita because of the ring, the AEW ring that they borrowed from MJF, and ended up with Roderick Strong wrestling MJF. This was a decent match, but MJF, of course, he is a fucking star. There's nothing anybody can say. He's a star. No matter if he doesn't wrestle through Dynamite for the next 3 weeks or whatever, when he does a pay-per-view, he is a star because he went and started working on Roderick Strong's fingers, started working on his arm, even though Roderick was hitting MJF with backbreakers and all that. But the ending of this match shows that this Adam Cole MJF is still going to go on. But now you have Kyle O'Reilly there. I can see a Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole feud. Now, these guys feuded back in 2016 in Ring of Honor, and their matches was brutal. They were brutal back then. So, easy, the one thing I could just say right now, are we going to see your Undisputed Kingdom turning on Adam Cole, or is just going to be a Kyle O'Reilly versus Adam Cole, and then Kyle O'Reilly ends up joining the Undisputed Kingdom, leaving the conglomeration, whatever the hell they call, and whatnot. I can see that because after MJF beat Roderick Strong, he took a chair and put Roderick Strong's arm in the chair and then pounced on it. And then you see Adam Cole running in there. Kyle O'Reilly was not happy. He pushed Adam Cole. That's leading. That's telling you right there. Is leading to a feud somewhere down the line. Now, the question is, how are they going to do this? Because now you got World's End coming up, I believe, at the end of the year and whatnot. So we're gonna see where it's going to lead to. Is the Undisputed going to go and turn on Adam Cole? I see it happening. I don't know about everybody else and whatnot. For those who are online watching this, I believe that, you know, they're going to turn on him. Adam Cole's going to be a lonely guy, and when his group is going to, or they could have Adam Cole turning on Kyle O'Reilly. But I don't see Adam Cole turning heel again, because the whole point last year of this devil stuff was Adam Cole was going to turn heel. And as we all know, you know, MJ went away for a while, and what happened to the United Kingdom or whatever, Undisputed Kingdom, whatever you want to call it? What happened to them? Nothing happened to them. Roderick Strong was the only one in that whole group, and you know, Bennett and Taven, they had the belts, but other than that, you know, I don't see where this is gonna go. You know what I'm saying? Where's MJF gonna go next? We don't know. The next match. This match really, really caught me by surprise, and this was the TBS title shot that Mercedes Mone was given to Kris Statlander. Now, this match, I said, and I remember telling my boy Mike, I was like, I think Mercedes Mone is gonna lose the belt. The reason I said that was because Mone has had this belt for over 6 months. Usually when a wrestler in AEW has a belt for over 6 months, they're going to lose it. I guess they don't trust their division, because apparently they still put Mercedes Mone still got the belt on her. But nothing wrong with her having the belt on her, because she proved it last night and whatnot. And I believe that all these wrestlers that she has wrestled and whatnot, It's depending how they dance together, if you want to put it that way. Because this match between Kris Statlander and Mercedes Mone was one of the best matches I've seen Mercedes Mone have in AEW. Not in WWE, not in, because in WWE, her and Bayley back in NXT were the best matches they ever had. But as far as here in AEW, you could say that Mercedes Mone match, besides her, I think Stephanie Vaquel, I ranked that number 2 behind the last night's match. This match was crazy because Mercedes Mone tried everything you can name for her to pin Kris Statlander and whatnot. So, it's this match. I mean, I don't even know what to say. This match went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Now, my question to this is, did Statlander really got hurt? Did she messed up her knee again? Now, as you guys know, she has had 2 surgeries, one on each knee, and was out for over a year. And last night, it looked like she was favoring that knee last night, unless that was part of the story and whatnot. So it's crazy. But this match was back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and whatnot. And I mean, to me, I was like, this is crazy. This match was going back and forth, and I thought that Statlander was pretty much we're going to win this match. Now, this was one of the highs, that back and forth. And at one point, I mean, she kept hitting her with double knees on her chest. Talking about Mone against Statlander. She hit her finishing move. She still got up. Statlander proved that she's one of the best female wrestlers in that division and whatnot. But Mercedes Mone kept the TBS title. Now, my thing is, when is she going to go after the world title? It would be great to see her and Mariah May go at it for the world title. Now, I don't know if that's ever going to happen, because right now, you see, Mercedes Mone has beaten almost everybody in that division. She has not faced the one and only Deonna Perrazo. That match, I would love to watch it, definitely. But this match, I think the Mercedes Mone and the Kris Statlander match was one of the best match at that point. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they stole the show. They stole the show on that with the female going at it in this match. Then right after that, we had Hangman Page versus Jay White. This is with the trilogy between these guys. Now, for most of the match, you saw Hangman Page working on Jay White's ankle, and through the whole match, both of them were working on each other's legs and whatnot. It was, now, the one thing I'm going to say, AEW, man, Jay White should have been AEW champion by now. I'm going to keep it real, because this guy is methodical in that ring. No matter if he's hurt, no matter if the guy's bigger than him, he is methodical in that ring. Okay? And him catching Adam Page, coming for his buckshot lariat and hit him with the Blade Runner, he's fast. This guy is fast. But yeah, AEW still has him hanging around, not really doing much with him and whatnot. And we're going to talk about where he's going to end up at. This match was another banger, because now they had a top Mercedes Mone and Kris Statlander in the match and whatnot. And did they top it? Not really. I mean, they had a great match. That's my point of view of it. They had a great match. I cannot say they didn't have a good match, but they didn't top Statlander and Mone match, which was pretty good and whatnot. Where is going this leading? I know that Hangman Page lost because he got called up. He got caught with the Blade Runner. He attacked Jay White afterwards, and then you see Christopher Daniels coming and telling him, "Hey, what you doing?" He attacks Christopher Daniels, so he might get suspended. He may not get suspended, but it's funny because the commentators always say, "Oh, they might be fines and suspension," but they follow next thing you know, they're back. They're back the following week. Now, the next match had a top Hangman and Jay White, in which I've said to myself, these guys are going to top it. You know what I'm saying? Are they going to top Statlander in Mone match? Well, it was Will Ospreay versus Kyle Fletcher. These guys, They did everything you can imagine with these two guys going at it. This is not the first time that Fletcher and Ospreay has wrestled. They had done it before in AEW. So this match was pretty good. The back and forth, the flips, the finishing move, the blade, whatever they call that, the elbow with the blade, whatever, hitting blade and whatnot. They did everything. I mean, at one point, to me, Kyle Fletcher has pretty much grown as far as a single wrestler. This guy looks dangerous. The guy's like 6'4", 235, something like that. I met the guy in person a couple of years ago. This guy's a monster. And then you got Ospreay, who I also met a couple of years ago. And these guys, it was like a mirror of themselves and whatnot. So this match was pretty good, and they topped it. But the biggest surprise was seeing Kyle Fletcher pin Will Ospreay, hit him with his finishing move, and I couldn't believe that he actually pinned Will Ospreay. Now, where does Ospreay go from here? Does he get another match with Kyle Fletcher, or better yet, it's Mark Davis, who used to be partners with Kyle Fletcher, part of Aussie Open, turns on Will Ospreay. We're going to probably end up seeing Kyle Fletcher versus Mark Davis, which is crazy because to me, I'm like, why is it that AEW, when they get a tag team, they break them up and whatnot? So Aussie Open should have never been broken up at all. Not in my book. They were one of the best tag teams out there. Before Mark Davis got hurt, they had the IWGP World Tag Team Champion plus New Japan Strong Tag Team Champion all at the same time when Mark Davis got hurt. So that's not a good one. Then we saw what we were expecting. Everybody's wondering, but how does this happen? And that was Mariah May betraying Mina Shirakawa and whatnot. And that I saw that coming. But it's crazy because Mina caught her, and Mina did a roundhouse and whatnot and kicked the bottle off her hand. But the funny part is she charged Mariah May, and they were supposed to land, both of them. There was two tables. They were supposed to land on the middle of both tables. Instead, Mina puts Mariah off the stage. She landed on the table, the first table, and slid off and then broke the second one, which I was like, okay, what happened here? But she came up. They claim she has a broken tooth. She broke a tooth, some bullshit like that. I don't even know if she did or not, but it could be that she just had blood capped and to make it look like what Mariah May did to Toni Storm. But if you notice, Mariah May had a nice little shiner, black eye, and that was the match she had with Anna Jay. So she had a nice little shiner and whatnot. Cause I could look at her makeup, but then the other one was black. She got a black eye. It was funny though, and I was like, wow. So it looks like Mina's going to end up wrestling Mariah May maybe at World's End for the Women's Championship, and maybe we can see Toni Storm come back, and I want to talk about that after the ending of this because the reports that came in about that. Then we had the TNT title match between Jack Perry versus Daniel Garcia. Great storytelling. Now, I don't know what everybody's talking about. There's no storytelling in AEW, but that was a perfect storytelling match. Finally, I'm going to say finally, Daniel Garcia gets a title. And now automatically he wins the title. Now they're talking about, why did Daniel Garcia won the TNT title last night? Now he's going after the Continental Classic. It's a tournament. You could have two belts in AEW. You could go for anything. You go for tag team belts. Pac is the first guy in AEW to have the 6-man tag and the international title at the same time. So what's the problem? People just got complain about anything. You know what I'm saying? Daniel Garcia got to win his title. And now, you know what I'm saying? Now he moves on. The guy's still young. The guy's like 26, 27 years old. You know what I'm saying? They're pushing the younger guys. That's what the hard reset happened. If you guys saw some of my shows a couple of weeks ago, when I talked about how Moxley's heel, a matter of fact, it was last week, Moxley's heel caused the hard reset and whatnot. So a lot of people don't like it because, all the guys they're pushing now should have been pushed 5 years ago, which I agree. But this is where we're going. The Continental Classic starts this Wednesday. And guess what? Daniel Garcia is in it. And Daniel Garcia did very well last year in the Continental Classic. That's what he's at where he's at now. But you people want to complain about it and whatnot. So then we had the international title match, which to me, I'm like, Ricochet versus Takeshita. Takeshita and Ricochet. I saw Takeshita pretty much dominating most of this match because of his size and strength and whatnot. So pretty much, you have to, look at it and say to yourself, well, is it fair to see Takeshita against Ricochet because of the size and whatnot? But to me, honestly, I said to myself, well, you know what? Whatever. But Takeshita pretty much dominated this match. He ends up beating Ricochet. I think this is the problem. When you bring in a WWE guy, you already automatically giving him a title shot. And whatnot. Ricochet didn't beat a lot of people to get a title shot. You know what I'm saying? So Takeshita beating him was the right thing to do. Now, what does the Takeshita goes to? I would love to see Takeshita in the Continental Classic and go against Okada. It's about to happen. It should happen. There's no ifs, no buts, Then we had the Bobby Lashley versus Swerve Strickland. This match, they made Bobby Lashley look like $1 million. This guy dominated most of the matches and whatnot. And he dominated Swerve through the whole match. He dominated him like he was supposed to dominate him and whatnot. So, did I agree with Bobby Lashley winning? I was like, maybe not. But then again, it's the Hurt Syndicate. You gotta make that group be strong. You know what I'm saying? You made Bobby Lashley look like $1 million. You can't go wrong with that. So, where does this go? I think EJ Nuka. Now, this guy used to wrestle in NXT. He supposedly has signed with AEW, and yet he has not made his debut. He came out one time with Swerve Strickland and whatnot when Strickland was feuding with Ospreay and whatnot. He came out as a backup and whatnot. I think it was a contract signing to that case. So now, where does this whole thing goes? I mean, they're gonna take it they're gonna take it to a cage or something. We'll see what happens in World's End. I think the fourth member out of that is gonna be Max Caster. Max Caster, the way he's acting lately with part of the Acclaim, the Acclaim is gonna break up. That's happening, and I see Max Caster being part of the Hurt Syndicate. Then we had the Moxley versus Cassidy match, which pretty much I already knew this was going to happen. When Moxley was going to beat Orange Cassidy, you was nowhere in the world you was going to see Orange Cassidy win the AEW World Title. But the match was good. The match was worth it. And why not? You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't something that, you say to yourself, Orange Cassidy doing his offense was unbelievable. It doesn't matter. The match was good. That's the way I look at it. The match was great. It was good. Now, the confusing part, to me, was the ending of it, the ending part. Now, Yuta got involved. I already knew that Yuta was going to get involved the minute I saw Castagnoli, Pac, Moxley, and Mina Shafir come out the truck and no Yuta. So I already knew Yuta was going to be a part of that. Somewhere down the line, he was going to get involved, right? So once that happened, I'll say, okay. And then Yuta ended up interfering and costing Orange Cassidy to lose the match. Now, I don't know what they were trying to do with the green liquid. I don't know what that green liquid was. Was it ammonia? We don't know. But the crazy part was that, you saw, I think it was Hangman Page came out of nowhere, and Page confronted Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley then was like, I said to myself, wow. And I said, it's going to be now Hangman Page against Moxley. Hangman Page just lost tonight because Jay White. But then out of nowhere, here comes Christian Cage. Now, Christian Cage holds that contract. He holds that contract. And that's what makes it more interesting because it's, he has the contract. He's trying to cash in on Moxley, but what happened? The crazy part is when he tried to cash in on the contract, here comes Jay White and catches Christian and hits him with I think he hit him with the Blade Runner. And now down to something, the Death Riders comes and attack Jay White. They run to the back. Their truck gets T-boned by another car, and so behold, it was Darby Allin. Now, the thing is, where all this stuff is going to end on the next pay-per-view and where they're going to start in 2025. Is Shane McMahon going to be part of the Death Riders? Because Moxley keeps saying, oh, I want change in AEW. It's just not supposed to be the way it is now. You know what I'm saying? So that is the big question. You know what I'm saying? Now I know for a fact that in World's End, I know Darby Allin is going to get a title shot. He's going to be the next one to get the title shot. So once he gets that title shot, then the ending of World's End, we're all going to see where is that going to lead to next year and whatnot. Where AEW is going with this. So now you got Jay White involved in the title picture. Feuding with Christian. Hangman helping Christian. So now you got all this thing going on, and we got from starting this Wednesday with the Continental Classic all the way to World's End. Now, with the Continental Classic coming on, we could definitely see Takeshita versus Okada. With the Continental Classic, we could see other matches. Who knows? We could have Daniel Garcia win the freaking Continental title because the belt is on the line. You know what I'm saying? We could see probably, now Jay White feuding with Christian Cage for the guy who gets a shot at the belt because the contract could be on the line. We already seen that Darby Allin is going to be somewhere involved in the title match with Moxley. Moxley's going to be like, okay, you want a part of me? We're going to get a part of me. And it's probably going to happen again. So we'll see what happens on Wednesday when we go to AEW Dynamite on Thanksgiving Eve. We'll see what happens, but whatnot. Let me know what you guys think about the whole pay-per-view. Overall, the pay-per-view, I'll give it a 7.5. It wasn't bad. But you got podcasters that already has an issue with AEW and whatnot. And you, just because now all of a sudden WWE is doing great, now you want to shit on AEW because you got to have some type of negativity for your audience come to your podcast and whatnot and be like, yeah, you're right. You know what I'm saying? Because this podcaster and whatnot, I used to like his podcast, and you know who is the guy is a fucking screamer. He's always complaining. He's always bitching. I'm sure a lot of you guys know who I'm talking about. Same guy who got pointed out by Jay Carhill. The same guy who, got pointed out at by WWE, one of the WWE females that wrestle in WWE. I forgot her name and whatnot. So you already know who I'm talking about. This guy's always crying and bitching about AEW. Now all of a sudden, because WWE is great. But before, it was the other way around. He was complaining and bitching about WWE and whatnot. And now he's doing the opposite. But overall, to me, you know what I'm saying? Guys like that, when they use their platforms to shit on a company instead of watching the show and whatnot, instead of beating on a dead horse about how AEW sucks, AEW show wasn't good, and this and this and that. This is the same guy who said that AEW will not have a TV deal this time next year. Or this year, actually. This time last year, he was on his podcast saying that AEW will not have a TV deal. That WWE was going to be in TNT. How wrong are you, buddy? You know what I'm saying? So, again, me, like I said, when I do these podcasts, and like I just did this review, it's an honest review. There's no tribalism here. I'm going to speak my mind. AEW, if doing shitty, I'm going to say they doing shitty. Right now, they're on a hard reset. The way the pay-per-view ended, I think there's a lot of potential of creating big stories for next year for the next pay-per-view. And all you gotta do is just sit there and see what happens. That's it. And then you're allowed to have your opinion. Fine, but when you shit constantly every week on the fucking on a company, then you shouldn't be watching wrestling. That's the way I see it. So let me know what you guys think of this whole AEW review as far as the AEW full gear recap and whatnot. Let me know what you think and whatnot. And I'll answer back whatever. So if you guys want to follow me, you can follow me right there. It tells you everything. I am on Facebook. I am on Instagram. I am on the X. And of course on the YouTube channel. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell for new uploads. And I will respond back. Also check out well, I feel tired. It's been a long night. Oh, it was a long night. So check out the t-shirts, the hats, and the hoodie at tcwrveryimpressive.com. That's tcwr.veryimpressive.com. And let me know what you think of AEW Full Gear. Do you think that it was a good show? Do you think they should keep doing these 0 hours where they'll use, silly matches just to bring in casual fans and whatnot? And what do you think? Let me know what you think about the Mercedes Mone and Kris Statlander match, which I think that was the best match of the night. Believe it or not, I think they were number one. That was number one to me. The Ospreay versus Kyle Fletcher was number two, and the Jay White versus Hangman was number three, and whatnot. So they were good matches. I mean, I didn't see no match. With the 0 hour was the only thing that really I wasn't too happy was with the QT Marshall with the Boom HA, whatever it is. And that was like, I don't know why they bring that in wrestling. But anyway, that is it for me, guys. If you got any questions, whatever, reach out to me on the YouTube channel and I will answer back. Again, any how you call it, any comments, whatever, just leave it there. We're live, so I don't know. Just bumbling right now. So if anything, guys, have a good weekend, a good Thanksgiving, and I'll see you guys next week.